Representative Fulbright?
Yes, did you say Maple Leaf was here and we could, and can we hear from
Not
him?
not the whole delegate, but there is somebody from Maple Leaf
somebody.
here.
Yeah.
Do you desire for them to come?
Please.
Casey? There's no, I know some council asked for them to be here at this quarterly meeting, so.
Yeah. Good to see you. Yes, hello. Good morning. Chief Johnson, Assistant Chief Palmer, Attorney General Duvall. Thank you for allowing me to come and address you all. Let me see if I can get this a little higher. Oh, well, we'll just work with it. And members of the General Council, nice to be with you. Thank you for allowing me to address you. My name is Casey Schulberg. I'm the Managing Director for Maple Leaf Resorts in Oklahoma. And I moved here in October to keep shepherding this project forward. So, as you know, on the 26th of August, you signed a resolution to allow Chairman Shepherd to negotiate a consulting agreement with Maple Leaf Resorts. And so that process started. Shortly after, we hired a well-known attorney here in Oklahoma named William Norman. He's a tribe member. In fact, the two lawyers we've hired here have both been tribe members, Joe Williams and William Norman. This is kind of in keeping with our desire to hire tribe members wherever we can. So we started the process of negotiating the agreement. So we followed strictly the guidelines that the resolution mapped out, with one exception. We looked at the financials because we signed an NDA, and we got the financials from Chairman Shepherd, and we saw that the casino operations, well, we knew this, we're not really doing great business, so we elected voluntarily to reduce our fee by half for the first 6 months to make sure that it wasn't a burden on the nation while we get the revenues geared up and cranked up. And I want to caution everybody, first of all, we don't have the consulting agreement back from the NIGC yet. I'm sure many of you know the process. You submit it unsigned when the parties are agreed, and then the NIGC has to sign off, and they give you a declination letter or comments. So we're waiting for that to happen. It went to them on the 5th of February. That process usually takes 6 to 8 weeks. Now, the chairman of the NIGC resigned 10 days ago, so we don't know if that's going to affect the timeline, but we addressed it to the vice chair, Angela Cisneros. So as far as we know, the timing is going to be what is predicted, 6 to 8 weeks. So that would put us maybe end of March, beginning of April. And then that puts us in the position where we can just consult. And we want to be really, really clear, and we want to be very by the book, because we're really, sticklers about respecting the guidelines of the NIGC. So that will allow us to consult, which means that we make recommendations. We have a lot of recommendations that we'd like to get going, but we can't do anything until we get that declination letter back from the NIGC. And even then, we're in a position to consult. Once we get the consulting agreement going, we will start to draft a management agreement, which will take a while. And the management agreement is something that you will all be involved with because that has to be approved by another council resolution. So that's about where we are in the process. At the same time, we're doing due diligence on the larger resort. As you know, our plan was to create quite a colossal resort there, spreading west and south of I-40 and 399 or 377. So that process is underway. We're doing due diligence with engineers and whatnot and kind of laying the groundwork. We're trying to build this very slowly and methodically so that we have a real firm base when we're ready to go and go to the next step. So it takes time, and I would ask your indulgence. It may take more time than we all wish, but that's the process. It's a big, ambitious project, and it just takes time to put all the pieces in place. So that's about where we are. I'm very enthused. I moved here in October. That should be some gesture of how confident we are that this project will come online. And Mike Uligio has a lot of plans that we're going to try to put in place with Mr. Holbata to drive interest, enthusiasm within the ranks of the employees, and some ideas on how we can generate more revenue for the tribe. So that's we're eager to get started, but we're respectful of the process. I'm happy to take any questions if you have them, and I know a few of you. I've gotten to know a few of you. I'm eager to get to know everybody, in the next few months. Say hello and just exchange ideas whenever that would be appropriate. Anybody got a question?
Okay. Oh, I see. Representative Pittman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yes, you said that the process would take a little time after we got the agreement done. What is the timeline that you project?
Yeah.
What would the process be after we reach the consulting?
Right.
agreement?
So once we get the declination letter back from the NIGC, then we can start recommending things. But the real significant uplift will probably not happen for 6 months, because we need to get more new inventory there on the floor. I mean, you've got some machines that are dated from 2006, and they're pretty stale. So Mike Ulizio has great contacts to some of those vending machines, slot machine providers. He's confident we can get better quality machines for less than we're paying now and get them rotated in. So that'll be an opportunity, and that process alone takes about 3 months to order them and get them in-house. So at the same time, we'll be organizing a kind of a promotion to inaugurate that with maybe some facelifts in the three venues, because we want to address all 3 venues. So it's just going to take a little while. And the first thing we'll have to do, I mean, we've gotten quite a bit of information from Chairman Shepard in terms of the financials, how it's doing month to month. And we saw that there's 28% rotation, turnover on the employees. That's high. So we want to see if we can address that too. But it's going to, for the first couple of months, we're just going to be basically getting under the hood and seeing really what is going on, and where we can be of help, and then order some new inventory. So within about 6 months, we should be able to see some significant uptick in the revenues, hopefully.
Thank you. Would that include the layout of the machines, the new machines?
Oh yeah. The floor plan is crucial, and Mike is such a seasoned expert on that. In fact, Mike Ulizio, our chief gaming guy, is often called upon to be an expert witness for the NIGC. He was called just last week for a dispute that they had. So he's highly regarded over at the NIGC, and we're putting in our background packets now with the SNGA. I put mine in yesterday, and he's putting his in on Monday, and we'll get the business vendor in next week. Yes, ma'am.
Representative Thunder.
Yes, I had a question. Have y'all got to go out and actually survey what the layout is going to be for the new resort, and as well as, do you have a projection date on groundbreaking?
Well, that's a good question. We're going through some due diligence now, getting some engineering, some soil samples, and that kind of thing. There's a lot of work that has to be done in terms of master planning of the resort. It's going to take a few years before it looks like we can be open to the public. It's going to take a few years. I would say 2026 or 27. So.
And one of the reasons, and I know that many of you understand this over the years, is that there's a process in that, especially if they were to move on and become that second part of that resolution passed, the company that helps to manage that. So it's a process that there is. I don't know whose phone that is, but if you can just turn your phones down, that helps us move on. It happens, doesn't it? But anyway, Representative Thunder, it's a process to get to that point, and even for them to even comment, on that, we're not there yet. Yeah, we're not there yet.
Yeah, I mean, we have to kind of curb our enthusiasm and tamp down expectations, because it's a colossal project, and it's just going to take a while to get, lay in the groundwork. I'm doing something else. I'm trying to work with the Seminole State College to create a proving ground for employees, training academies. We may even institute the first comprehensive gaming school in Oklahoma. It could be operating out of Seminole State College to train with a focus on training tribal members because we're going to have a lot of divisions in this resort when it gets up and running. We're going to have hospitality, we're going to have retail, we're going to have gaming, we're going to have entertainment, we're going to have recreation. So all those people need to be trained to run those divisions. So we're talking about laying that in now, because to get those curriculums built into the college process takes a couple of years. So we would hopefully do that simultaneously to the development process, so that when we're ready to open, we've got some people that already have vocational certificates or degrees that can come in to help manage the resort. So that's an exciting opportunity. We're looking at that too.
Okay, we're
Yeah.
right at the time limit for this particular item. Is there any other questions? And I know that Casey had mentioned that William Norman, most of us are familiar with great law firms in Indian Country, Hobbs, Strauss, Dean, and Walker. They were the attorneys and may still be possibly involved with the Seminole Tribe of Florida as well. They were their attorneys for years and years, Hobbs, Strauss, Dean, and Walker. So we're a reputable law firm in Indian Country. No other questions? Then we'll bring this particular item to a close.
Okay, Mado, thank you.
Mr. Hoboto, thank you. Okay, we're still under committees, boards, commissions.